Non-arguments is a topic that is covered in section 1.2 of our textbook. In order to understand what an argument is, it is equally important to understand what a non-argument is. Let us begin with what are referred to as simple non-inferential passages. The word inference refers to the process that one goes through when one goes through an argument. This is typically done in a linear way in the sense that one starts with a premise and ends with a conclusion. In our Socrates is mortal argument, we started with the premise that all humans are mortal and ended with the conclusion that Socrates is mortal. This was a reasoning process which automatically means that an inference was drawn, or in other words, we arrived at the conclusion that Socrates is mortal. Thus, in non-inferential passages, no conclusions are made, which is to say that there is no argument, because an argument, by definition, has to have a conclusion. Our first non-inferential passage is a warning. A warning is intentionally made to alert someone of an oncoming danger. Warnings do not have conclusions because the person is not trying to logically convince others that there is danger ahead. The person making the warning is trying to prevent this danger. Here's an example. Watch out for the oncoming car. Notice that the person is only concerned with preventing someone from being hit by a car. Our next non-inferential passage is a piece of advice. A piece of advice is made in order to recommend that another person or group of persons do something specific or follow a certain course of action. The person giving the advice is not trying to convince the other person that a certain conclusion is true. In other words, they do not provide reasons why this advice is good. And reasons are premises. They just give the advice. Here's an example. I advise you to study throughout the whole week and not cram the night before the quiz. Notice that the person is only stating this to guide someone in a way they think that is best, and unlike a warning, there is no immediate danger or imminent threat. Our next non-inferential passage is a statement of belief or opinion. In a statement of belief or opinion, a person merely says what they think or what they believe about something. When a person states their opinion, they do not give reasons as to why their opinion is correct. Because they do not give reasons, stating their opinion is non-inferential. Here's an example. I believe that we need a president who genuinely cares about the middle class. In this case, the person does not give reasons why having such a president is a good idea. They merely state what they believe. Next, we have loosely associated statements. These kinds of statements can be about a specific topic. They are random remarks about the same topic, but they do not purport to prove a specific conclusion. In other words, none of the remarks are given with the intention of being used to prove another statement. Here's an example. Love is difficult, love is glorious. To not love is to not live, to not be alive. To not love is to not have desires. As we can see, these statements are random and some do not logically support one other statement. Finally, we have reports. In a report, statements are given which are intended to inform others about the details of an event. These details are typically narrated in chronological order. Here's an example. Yesterday afternoon at around 5:45, traffic was getting worse and worse on 7th Street. Shortly after 6 o'clock, a speeding red SUV ran the red light on the corner of 7th and Redondo Avenue. The accident that ensued was devastating. 2 people were injured and had to be taken into the emergency room at St. Mary's Medical Center. As we can see, there is no intention to convince someone that a particular conclusion is true. Hence, there are no premises, and that in turn means that there is no argument. All that this person intends to do is to convey the information about this terrible accident. I hope you have enjoyed this video. In our next video, we will continue to list non-arguments, which are a little bit more complex, but fail to be arguments because there are no premises and no conclusions.